Yo, what's good my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned with yet another Kaiju number 8 video, and hopefully you guys are having an excellent day. Today we are going to be doing a breakdown for the second part of the weapon guide, talking about every single assault rifle in the game, because as you know, if you watch Kaiju number 8, the main weapon that most people are using are assault rifles. Only a few select people are given numbers that are like based off of stronger Kaiju, right? Only a few people are given numbered weapons. And then only a few people are given stronger Kaiju weapons. Only a smaller few are given numbered Kaiju weapons, right? So that's why, you know, obviously Esau is cracked. He's the defender of he's the captain of the entire defense force, so he's going to have a numbered weapon, obviously, right? You know, in the latest episode, Kikuru revealed her, weapon. Not only uses number 1's weapon, but now he has his suit on as well, and Hoshina just got number 10 as a weapon. So you can see that the weapons are really crazy, and they really do matter and contribute in the show, so they definitely do contribute in the game. And I just want to go over the ARs because that is what most of the rest of the characters have, and I know that I'm talking mainly about the SR characters, but even still, it is still good to know about the different rifles, because some rifles can make some characters way more impactful than you expect. But if you guys do enjoy videos like these, you can go down below, you can hit the like, you can hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time the dead man hits the Kaiju weapon glide. Then you can also go down below and comment and let me know what you want to know. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first weapon that we are going to take a look at actually is a supply box weapon, or a supply weapon box reward that you get from doing the battle pass. But I will be honest with you, if you are not already just naturally buying the battle pass, I would not recommend purchasing the battle pass in an attempt to farm these weapons, because that is like waiting a couple of months to spend money a couple of times just to get out one weapon maxed out, when typically these new characters release and they have a weapon that is already ideal for them to be used with. We could see in the future maybe they drop characters that don't come with a weapon, but I highly doubt it. They want to keep those banners as tantalizing as possible. I got the battle pass because I desired to get the battle pass because I wanted more stamina, and I just happened to pick up this AR because I didn't have the weapon for Reno yet, but I did get Reno actually. So eventually I did go back in and summon for AR-Boreas, and it kind of felt like it defeated the purpose when I got this weapon, and now this weapon is just relegated to being on my rare, or my 4-star Reno, so it is what it is. But this one is going to be crit rate plus 18.4%, and after the equipped unit activates combat skill, applies attack plus 6.9% for 2 turns to the equipped unit, max 3 stacks. And honestly, let me give you the actual breakdown at A0 for this. At A0, the crit rate is only plus 16%, and it increases by 2.4% per ascension. Then the combat skill applies attack plus 6% at base, but it increases by 0.9% each time you get an ascension up. So that is the actual A0 stats of it, if you guys want to know that instead, because I feel like it makes more sense for you to know that. But the battle box weapons, the weapon supply box weapons, are not actually viewable unless you are looking at a weapon supply box. Like, even if you go to the battle pass and look at the weapon supply box, you cannot look at the contents of the box. You have to actually earn the box, then click on the box, and then be selecting your reward. So a lot of things that need to be fixed with the UI for sure, so that you can actually just check things before you open things, instead of having to open things and that being your one time looking at it, right? But we're gonna go ahead and say that this weapon is not worth it, because this weapon, I feel like it was made for the Ice Reno, and honestly, the weapon that's on this banner with him is just so much better. It's just kind of like, why would you even bother to get this weapon, right? And there are 2 other assault rifles that are pretty good for some support characters, but those 2 weapons are available for purchase from the Proof of Valor shop. So again, just don't really recommend chasing these weapons. If you were going to chase a weapon, I would say, 1, you have to be a sweat for that. And honestly, the only one that I feel like is really worth it is probably Rin Shinonome, just because she is one of those characters that I looked at and I said that she was very basic and boring at first, but then I looked at her and realized that she is so like stock standard that you can build her any way. You can put a wide body kit on her if you want to, you know what I'm saying? You can put a twin turbo on her. I don't know, right? What am I referencing? Anyway, she is just a character that you can try a bunch of different builds on. So I would legitimately collect different weapons for her just to try out different builds if it meant that I get different results from her. But we're going to go ahead and go on to the next weapons, which are again part of the Proof of Valor shop. All right, chat, the next weapon that we're going to take a look at is going to be the AR-Crius. This assault rifle is actually for more support characters. I'm going to go ahead and say that this one is an excellent choice to put on to Akari Minase, who is the only healer in the game right now. But yeah, no, she is definitely really good. If you didn't see my stages against the limited battle, fierce battle area where I use non-limited characters, only like standard banner characters basically, I guess, then definitely go check that out. But yes, Akari Minase played a very crucial role in one of those runs, so she has definitely earned my respect. But what this weapon is HP plus 28%, plus 2.8% every time you increase the ascension. Then you get, before the wielder uses a combat skill, grants the wielder 12% healing multiplier for 2 turns, and that gets increased by 1.2% per ascension level. Then after the wielder uses an ultimate, increases all allies ult gauge by 3, and that increases by 0.3 every time you ascend it. So altogether it adds up to 4.2, which I guess, right? I guess they give decimal values on the ultimate as well. Anyway, they could have just gave ultimate gauge charge rate at that point, but even still, just a very good rifle for her because it increases her healing multiplier and also is going to be providing ultimate gauge. No matter how small the ultimate gauge buff is, the healing multiplier is what is mainly important because it's for 2 turns, which means that not only can you get a good heal on your ultimate, but you can also get a good heal on your combat skill as well if she gets another turn quick enough. At max, the HP that she gets from it is going to be 39.2%. The healing multiplier is going to increase by 16.8%, and then the ultimate that allies get is by 4.2. It is an increase of 4.2 instead of 3. But then we can take a look at the other weapon, which is a Proof of Valor weapon, the AR-Hyperion. And again, I do recommend farming these weapons because these weapons are just weapons that you can pick up from farming in in-game battle mode, which does have a lot of wiggle room for the units that you can use for it. So it is definitely accessible to free-to-play players, depending on how casual or how sweaty you want to get with your gameplay experience. But I think it's pretty easy personally. All right, attack plus 28%. At the start of battle, applies speed plus 4% for 3 turns to all allies. After the equipped unit activates ultimate, applies attack plus 6% for 2 turns to all allies as well. And this one is going to be an excellent choice for that man Ryo Ikagura. Yes, because he is like the ultimate support unit, and right here at the start of the battle gives all allies an extra speed boost, which is really good because the way that I run my team is it is Narumi with Hoshino beside him, then I have Ryo on the team in general. That used to be my main team, and then just whatever other DPS I want to have, like probably like Hoshino or something like that, or probably Sagan actually, right? Or Sagan, and then Reno is the one who takes the place now, but low-key I'll replace Reno with Ryo sometimes if I had to, right? Just for the extra buffing. But with this weapon, this man Ryo is giving you extra speed as you come into the battle, which is going to give everybody a little bit extra turn priority, I believe. And then he's also giving himself a speed boost, in which he's boosting his ultimate gauge, which is going to give everybody another speed boost. Then also after he activates his ultimate, he also applies an attack buff in addition to all of his allies as well. So just a very good support weapon for him since he is somebody who uses an assault rifle as well. And at max stats, he gets attack plus 39.2%, which I feel like that's respectable because I don't ever feel like he's in danger of getting hit too hard. So I wouldn't really build his defense up, right? I feel like he's tanky enough as is. Or I feel like the content doesn't hit hard enough to stop him, or at least I have a good enough supporting cast of characters to keep him from getting destroyed in battle. He already has an entire kit that is focused around boosting allies, right? So you might as well just add something else in there that just boosts your allies more. And boosting speed and attack definitely helps you to become an even more offensive option whenever you're doing these content stages. But just another very excellent weapon. And again, the AR-Hyperion and the AR-Crius are 2 weapons that I do recommend people try to farm up just because of the Proof of Valor medals and how easy they are to obtain, and how free this shop is, and how it is always up, and you can literally buy both of these weapons every month basically, because the fierce limited battle area, or the fierce battle area, resets 2 times a month, the limited one, and then we don't even know what they're going to do for the main one, essentially. But now we can go and talk about the rest of the guns, which are all going to be guns that you can get from the banner. So the first gun that we covered is a gun from the from the battle pass that you can purchase. If you purchase the premium battle pass, every time you purchase the battle pass, then you can get it within 3 months. If you purchase the basic battle pass, whenever you purchase the battle pass, you can get it in 5 months, maxed out is what I'm saying. But yes, I would not recommend doing that route. I would recommend more so following this route and then just going the regular, you know, banner route, right? Because that is the main place where people usually are spending the main share of their money or their premium currency in these games. But let's go ahead and talk about some banner weapons here. So this is the only 5-star banner assault rifle, and this one is called AR-Boreas, and this one released with the Ice Rhino, I almost called him blue, the Ice Shooter Rhino that released on the launch of the game. I recently got it, so mine is not really that worked on just yet, but this one is going to be crit rate plus 24%. So the first one that I talked about is at crit rate plus 16%, the AR-Cronus, right? And even with a buff of 2.4% per level, that only goes up to 25.6% versus this one already starting at a crit rate of 24%. And this one increases by 2.4% every level. So let's see. This one is going to end up going up to 33.6% if you get it all the way up. So it's just going to end up being a much higher stat for the same stat anyway. And it's like the grind on this weapon, as far as I know right now, is a little bit easier because summoning and pitying a weapon is easier than spending real money on a battle pass every month and waiting monthly, right? It's more time gated as well if you want to farm the other weapon. This weapon is just a more free option, and you can buy it from the shop without even needing to get a copy of it from the banner first, right? So this was just a much better option for Rhino. Obviously, I got lucky enough to just summon a copy of it eventually, but after the equipped unit activates combat skill, applies ice damage dealt plus 8% for 3 turns to and ultimate gauge. Wait. Applies ice damage dealt plus 8% for 3 turns and ultimate gauge charge rate plus 7% for 3 turns to the equipped unit max of 2 stacks. And that gets boosted by 0.8% and 0.7% respectively as you boost the ascension levels on them, right? So just all around a much better and much more customized weapon to Ice Rhino's playstyle. So it's kind of like you need that weapon if you have him, but you don't really need him in the first place. That might be a controversial opinion, but I don't really think you need him in your account, because even without him in my account for the first 11 days when I was free to play, I cleared everything in the game with that man, Nadami and Hoshina side by side, instead of having Rhino to debuff everything down to the floor and be my DPS. So you do not need him, but he is very fun, and he shows up on future banners instantly. So it's just kind of like, he's showing up on Hoshina's banner right now. He is literally on Hoshina's banner right now, and Hoshina will probably be on the next non-limited units banner anyway. Or honestly, the next limited banner will probably have Hoshina and Rhino automatically, or not Hoshina because Hoshina will still be out, but it'll probably have Rhino and maybe Sagan. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how that goes. Now, that was it for the 5-star assault rifles in the game. The rest of these are banner weapons, of course, but these are going to be weapons that are 4-star weapons and can be put on 4-star characters while you wait to get some 5-star weapons for them. But first is going to be AR-Squid 62. This one is going to be a defensive weapon, and this one is going to be good for Kota Tachibana because he is the only 4-star defender character, and every other defender character who is 5-star has their own specialized weapon, which is going to be Sagan and going to be Isao. It's kind of like defenders are built different. I don't know, but basically, the AR-Squid at base at 0 is going to be defense plus 28%, and then it gives an additional 42% ascension or level every time, or 42% every time you boost this ascension level. And at the start of the battle, it applies damage taken reduction plus 5% for 3 turns to all allies, and it increases by a rate of 0.7%. So you can see here mine is maxed out. At max is going to give defense plus 44.8%, which isn't that bad, and then it's also going to give at the start of battle applies damage taken reduction to all allies 7.8% for 3 turns instead of just the 5%. This one, again, like I said, is good for Kota Tachibana. You can see that he has it equipped. These ones I'm not really going to go super in depth with because it's just like, these aren't ones that are like, oh, you shouldn't invest in this. These are ones that quite literally you're going to just be getting by summoning anyway. So I might as well just break them down for you and tell you who the best character for each one of these are, the best rare or 4-star character is, because I plan to work on every single 4-star character and make sure that I make all of them useful in some capacity at some point in this game. So I will be working on any of these weapons that are desired for these characters. This one is going to be the AR-Honeybee 84. This one is for healer characters, so this one is for Ikari. And now that I'm re-looking over it again, this one may honestly just be the better choice for the weapon for Ikari to use. This one is HP plus 28%, and every time you ascend it, it gives an additional plus 4.2%, so it maxes out at 44.8%, as you can see right here. And then before the equipped unit activates their ultimate, they apply a healing multiplier of plus an additional 21% for 2 turns to the equipped unit, and it increases by 3.1% each time you ascend it, so it eventually goes up to 33.4%. Which, what was the other one? I'm pretty sure the healing multiplier was a little bit lower on the other one. The healing multiplier on the other one was 12%. It only went up plus 1.2% each time, but that's on the combat skill. I see. And then on the ult, they boost their ult. On the ult, they boost their because what is this one? Is this one on the ult, or is this one on? This one's on ult. So yeah, I think the 5-star weapon is definitely going to be better for Akari, just because you're going to be able to use the combat skill more frequently and get the healing multiplier more frequently as well, instead of waiting for your ultimate to get a bigger healing multiplier. But again, still a very good weapon to use if you're using Akari in the earlier stages, because it's not like you're really being like kind of like rhythmic with her or methodical with her. You're just kind of using her in case health gets too low. But mine is a 6, so she does actually revive units, so that is actually pretty clutch. But we're gonna go ahead and just jump to the next weapon. Next up is the AR-Panther 33, and this one is effect resistance plus at base plus 17%, and it increases by 2.5% per ascension level, so up to 27%. After the equipped unit activates their ultimate, applies damage dealt plus 6% to all allies, and that is 0.9% increase every time it ascends to 9.6. This one I have on Rio right now, but like I said, the 5-star weapon is definitely better for Rio. I definitely like that one much better as a support option for him, so we're just going to go ahead and just go to the next weapon, because this one don't really have much to say. It's just not better than the 5-star version. Plus, the 5-star version, I guess it is a little bit better because it gives effect resistance, so he is less susceptible to status elements and status changes, but even still, I would take the attack over the effect resistance just because the secondary effect is much better in my opinion. Next we have the AR-Octopus, which is going to be effect hit rate plus 22%, or plus 17%, again, plus an additional 2.5% every time at essential level, so up to 27%. This one's just not maxed out. Or perhaps this is the second one that I'm working on for a different character, because the first one is already on that kid, Ihadu, because Ihadu, I think, is the best battle buddy for Ice Reno, low-key, if you want to make Reno your main DPS, but another time, another video. After the equipped unit attacks a Kaiju that already has a debuff or a status element, the equipped unit's ult gauge is increased by 30, and every time you ascend it, it gets an increase of 4.5, so that gets increased by 18 altogether, so you get ultimate plus 48 every time you hit a Kaiju that has a status element already, which is synergizing perfectly with that man Reno, who is always dropping ice crystals on the enemies. So again, I think Ihadu is the ideal candidate for this weapon right here. Next, you have the AR-Narwhal 59, which is going to be attack plus 28% at base, and then it gives an increase of 4.2% every time you ascend it. This equipped unit's combat skill damage dealt is plus 21%, and it increases by 3.1% every time you ascend it, so 33.4% is what it's going to max out at, and 44.8% attack is what they're going to max out when you have it at full ascension. This one is just very basic, very stock standard. Don't really know that I like this one very much. We're just going to go ahead and go to the last one, which is going to be the AR-Lynx 75, and this one is attack plus 28%, plus 4.2% every time you ascend it. And then after the equipped unit activates normal attack or an ultimate, deals damage dealt plus 21% for 1 turn to the equipped unit. And then it also increases by 3.1% every time you ascend it. So it is going to max out at 33.4%, I believe. But basically, this one is really bad. I think this one is for those characters that are so bad that you're not trying to waste the SP on their skills at all, so you're just using their normal attack until you get their ultimate, and then you're just dropping their ultimate because it's more damage than their normal attack. That is what this weapon screams, and it fits perfectly on that boy Haruichi, who is like the weirdest support character I've seen, because he just has like a bunch of scattered debuffs that I don't think are very effective on their own. I don't know, but guys, that is all of the ARs in the game, all the assault rifles, and I just wanted to do this in a separate video because this video was just bound to take long in itself. Yeah, the recording is already 25 minutes, But yeah, either way, I learned a lot while I was doing this video. That is another reason why I love to do these guide videos, because I do also learn a lot myself. So if you guys did enjoy this video, you guys go down below, you guys leave a like, you guys hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time the Deadman hits the AR-Lynx slide. And you can also comment down below and let me know what you want to know. But the Deadman does have to jet because it is time for some football. But the Deadman does love y'all. Y'all have an excellent day. Peace out.